Is it the cat's pajamas? Is it the cat's meow? No, it's Clash of the Pencils Live.
Turn on the stream tonight, short stories in the spotlight. Writers bring their best to light. The story central time. Breaking down the plot, characters that fought, twist that hit the spot. It's all you live tonight. Are you ready for some stories in a live stream glory? It's the contest of the year. Writers have no fear. Catch the suspense unfold. Feel the tales being told. Critiques fair and bold. The truth will soon be known. Dollars from far and wide. Mysteries you can't hide. Every twist takes the story right. By these rules we abide. Are you ready for some stories in a live stream glory? It's the contest of the year. Writers have no fear. Breaking down the plots.
Breaking down the plots is yours truly, Tom Sherman, joined as always by our co-host, Greg the Reader Peterson. We are here to analyze the top 3 stories of the day that have been submitted by authors from around the internet. If you're new to Clash of Pencils, this is how it works. Every day we reveal a prompt, and then authors submit a story through the app. If you want to find out, there are links in the description below. Then you handwrite a story based on that prompt, take a picture, upload it. The top 3 submissions get proffered to the public at large. I was doing so well.
Yeah,
it was so relatable. And then I said proffered. You vote on the top 3 submissions, basically. And then we go over those stories and reveal the winner. The next day's prompt, do it all over again. So you're joining today on something known as Halloween week, and it is quite a doozy. So before we get into that, we will just say that there are what does it take to get into the finals, right, Greg? It's what people always ask. I get emails from people all the time saying, how do I get my story featured on the Clash of the Pencils live stream? Here's how. You have to beat what we call the Triangle of Doom. Or the Triangle.
The Triangle of Doom.
The Triangle of Doom does not include spelling, believe it or not. It has 3 elements. That is plot, that is the setting, and that is the characters of a story. That creates your Triangle of Doom, and the closer you can strike to the center of that heart of despair, the more visceral and engaging and exciting your story will be. So that's what it takes to get to the finals. Here's the prompt for today. Halloween week, open your story with this line. The black cat winked at me and said. All right, so bearing this prompt in mind, Greg, where should our authors focus on in the Triangle of Doom?
It feels like there's something supernatural going on with this black cat character. A wink implies intention, Tom. There something is malevolent. There are forces in this spooky world because it's Halloween week, and I'm excited to say we have Storyflix. We have turned up a coefficient that's called Nightmare Fuel. And that means that it is going to be a special Storyflix animations that are more ghoulish and terrifying than normal.
Uh-oh.
So we're hoping these prompts get some pretty scary movies.
Pretty scary stuff out there. So hang on to your britches, and otherwise, we'll see how it goes. So we'll start with our first story of the day here. Going to come in from, let me just check the notes here. It is going to come in from Red 19. Our known author, Red 19, here with a story about a black cat winking.
As Gus was floating down the alley behind the old Blackwood mansion, out of one of the broken windows crawled Luna. The black cat winked at Gus and said, "Hi there, Gus. How are things in your neck of the paranormal woods?" "Ah, I don't know, Luna. I'm feeling a little bit down in the dumps. I guess Halloween used to be our big time of year, a time when little children wanted to dress up like you and me to go out trick-or-treating. We were icons of the season, and now all our costumes are relegated to the sale rack at the dress barn. When was the last time you saw anyone dressed up as a ghost, or black cat, witch, or jack-o'-lantern? I don't even recognize most of the costumes anymore," bemoaned Gus. "Oh, I know what you mean, Gus. I'm feeling quite scared and antiquated myself, I must admit," mewed Luna. "It used to be us who scared humans on Halloween. Now it's quite the opposite. Who's that ghoulish orange-faced old man with the terrifying mask?" "That's a costume that definitely needs to be retired," declared Luna. Gus fluttered in agreement when all of a sudden Luna arched her back, straightened her sleek black tail, and said, "Gus, I have a wickedly wonderful idea. Let's get the old gang together and have a good old-fashioned spook fest right here at the haunted Blackwood house. I'm sure old Lady Blackwood wouldn't mind a bit." Gus gave a slight grin and levitated higher than he had been in a long time. "Oh, Luna, that is a devilishly divine plan. A Halloween anniversary tour of sorts," shrieked an ecstatic Gus. The plan worked to perfection. On Halloween night, with the wind slamming the loose shutters on the house, the skeletons danced in the windows, witches flying across a moonlit sky, black cats prowling around the yard, jack-o'-lanterns lining the porch with their ominous smiles, lighting up the entrance, souls and ghosts floating through the trees. Gus and Luna sat back and watched as children screamed and parents rushed their little ones past the Blackwood house to safety. "Job well done," Gus proudly exclaimed. "I guess everything old can be new again," replied Luna with a wink and a nod.
All right, so here we have Gus and Luna, a ghost and a cat. Black Cat have decided that, you know what, the Halloween season has forgotten us. We're the classics. Everyone, we don't even know what the kids are doing these days. Let's bring it back to the good old days. Basics, back to square one. Set up a haunted house. Set up a haunted house. Scare the pants off the neighborhood, and a successful Halloween, showing that, you know what, sometimes you can't beat the classic stuff.
I guess everything old can be new again.
That's what they say.
I I like how we're in the paranormal woods. Like they already know that it's paranormal, but like there are families there raising children in these paranormal woods that could be
Right.
scared. So the setting is there. My favorite line was, "We were icons of the season, and now all of our costumes are relegated to the sale rack at the dress barn." Who's going to the dress barn to buy Halloween discount
On
Halloween
sale in the paranormal forest. That just goes to show, it's hard times out there. The recession, real estate prices really have taken off. So you might as well just get discount at the dress barn
Yeah.
and live in the paranormal woods.
Who's to say that Dress Barn isn't also abandoned at this point? So stop. Speaking of, well, what was the line? Everything old can be new again. It used to be us who scared the humans on Halloween, but now it's quite the opposite. I thought there was some interesting, there was nostalgia coming throughout. I liked the fact that they get the band back together,
Mhm.
and they seem to do a good job. It was a nice Halloween story.
Yeah, it was great. I think I enjoyed the detail of Gus levitating higher than he had in a while. At the idea. So I thought that kind of showed. It was a good playful way of showing excitement without saying Gus was excited.
Yeah.
So a lot of good imagery, a lot of good sort of character development through that sort of wording. Um, you know, I will say, and this is a classic thing that Red 19 does, flaunts the rules, flaunts the prompt
Uh-oh.
to a full degree. The prompt says, "Open your story with this line: The black cat winked at me and said, dot dot dot." What is the opening line? As Gus was floating down the alley behind the old Blackwood mansion, out of the broken windows crawled Luna. Now, hey, maybe I'm just a stickler for the rules, but that's
Horse, horse hockey alert. Horse hockey alert.
horse hockey alert, big time. Horse hockey, indeed. But no, it was a great story. Red 19. I sort of really enjoyed how uh, the the characters decided to trick the neighborhood in a classic sort of fashion and take back Halloween. Yeah, it was top notch stuff. It all got wrapped up. Good plot, good characters, all that.
The last thing I'll say is that I liked how it echoed back to the prompt on the last line, the black cat winking one more time. Coming full circle, that's a good way to kind of provide the reader with a sense of closure.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. All right, so good opening start here from Red 19. Let's see. We'll go to the next one here from Meat French. We haven't seen Meat French since Meat French won first place for a Tuesday and then disappeared. So Meat French is back. Let's see if it's with a vengeance.
The black cat winked at me and said, "Meow, wow, wow, love boy." Blood rushed to my face, and as much as I tried to sit there and look cool, I fidgeted in my seat with the attention of the black cat's gaze piercing through me. Cheyenne, dressed in an all-black cat costume, was on stage down on all fours, slinking around. Sitting in a theater attending an Edgar Allan Poe play, The Black Cat, I did not anticipate any attention directed at me. I was there because I had heard this rendition of the play had an even creepier twist than usual. Cheyenne, a B-list actress in the Wyoming theater scene, carried on with the play, but my mind didn't. The way in which Cheyenne had locked eyes with me and added in a seemingly extra wow at the end of her meow had my mind racing. Was it intentional? Was I inventing the entire thing? I turned my head and looked behind me. No way she could have been looking at the group of elderly women who were sitting together as part of a book club outing. At least that's what I imagined brought them together. The show ended an hour later, in part to respect the production company, and in part to avoid seeing anyone I knew on the way out. I stayed with the very bitter end. When the janitors came in on stage to begin sweeping up, I took my cue to leave and exited quickly without any lines or need to small talk. I had a lot to process with Cheyenne and her slinky outfit flashing in my mind, along with a play about drinking. So what else was there to do but head to the Irish pub across the street from the theater? Double tepiolitl colas. I ordered my go-to drink of choice and sat down at the far corner of the bar. 3/4 of the way through my drink, the cast of The Black Cat started filtering into the bar. I barely noticed as I got distracted by watching a young frat guy talk sloppily with his mates. My leg kept on itching, and I began noticing that I needed to scratch it every 15 seconds or so. But then I noticed needing to scratch my lower back, then other leg, and then neck. I happened to notice a movement out of the corner of my eye and turned around. There was Cheyenne holding her black cattail to brush against my skin. Meow, wow, wow.
All right, so here we have a unknown narrator watching an Edgar Allan Poe play, The Black Cat, and it seems like getting some sort of cat scratch fever, and contemplating this at the Irish pub afterwards, and then coming across the feral cat that gave it to him himself.
You want to know what I want to know, Tom?
What's that?
What elderly women who are sitting together are going on a book club outing to this Edgar Allan Poe play, The Black Cat?
Mhm.
What was it that brought them there? why were they in there and the narrator felt the need to slink away and in respect to the production company to avoid any small talk?
The community theater scene in Wyoming is
It's
cutthroat,
it's,
actually.
it's very
Believe it or not.
antisocial. It seems like.
There's yeah, well, I mean, look, Cheyenne is a B-list actress in the Wyoming theater scene. So you know what I mean? Like there's obviously a top tier of Wyoming theater, and so to be caught dead in one of
Right.
these lower end community theater plays, watching
It's tough. You
the
got to
Black
throw in
Cat.
the extra. You got to throw in those extra wows at the end of meow wow wow.
It's a yeah, it's a cutthroat industry out there in Wyoming. I've seen it. I've seen it.
The I also thought the perspective was interesting here. The prompt called for, if we wanted to think a little bit more about the prompts, the line is the black cat winked at me and said, not at another character. And so this is in that for we are uncomfortably in the narrator's mind here. Too much, yeah, too much first person viewpoint character access into the thoughts of what is going on. It seems like a character that is in desperate need for human connection, but cannot make it. It's a lot of processing, a lot of doubting. We get a lot. The questioning, I thought, what when she added the extra wow at the end of the meow, was it intentional? Was I inventing the entire thing? There's this constant speculation about status of the narrator that he's trying that seems to throw him completely for a loop. Like he's trying to process this, then he has to go to the pub, 2 Tepeola colas later, he's still thinking about this. Was this meant for me or not? At the end, it seems like it was meant for him. It's Cheyenne still in costume, still method acting.
Method acting.
Actor.
It's like I said, that community theater scene out in Wyoming is cutthroat, and you got to do that sort of stuff if you want to stay at the top of your game.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if maybe the narrator is allergic to the polyester of the cat suit or what as far as the itching cat scratch fever, or if it was like a paranormal sort of. You know what I really enjoyed about this story is it references Poe, and it's also very Poe-like, and it's this like narrator slowly descending into madness, and you really get a close first person view of just like pure unbridled madness. And
No, it's a consciousness at war with itself and the outside world. Did Poe write any plays? I thought he was more of a short story and poet kind of author, but a Poe play. Maybe there.
Well, that's a good point, and maybe it's an adaptation. We'll have to fact check.
Who is adapting Poe for the stage?
The Wyoming community theater scene. I'm telling you, Greg. Obviously, you haven't been to Wyoming's community theaters.
No,
because you would know.
We need to hashtag that. Bruton, hashtag that.
Yeah, that's. We've got our team on it. We're going to send a correspondent out to Wyoming soon enough. Report back live, I'm sure. All right, so that was that was Meat French's submission. All right, we do have a semi horse hockey alert here, where Repeat, our good friend, was also in the top 3. Their story didn't generate. Oddly enough. Didn't have any issues as far as getting through censorship. So I will give it a quick read because I think it's worth it. But it's tough. All right, so the black cat winked at me and said, "Meh," when crossing the path in front of me while I was out on my afternoon walk. Of course, I know cats can't talk, but this one had distinctly winked at me, and I was convinced it was trying to tell me something. It was a week before Halloween, and while I'm not the superstitious type, it was quick to believe that the cat was an omen that I shouldn't ignore. As a result, as the cat headed into the woods on the side of the path, I quickly followed. The woods got thicker and thicker, the trees got dense with undergrowth, but the cat seemed to have no trouble moving through it. Clearly, it knew where it was going, while I did not. "Just don't lose sight of it," I mumbled to myself. After at least a mile of tracking the cat through the woods, it began to turn dark, and I realized I had no idea where I was. Just then, I could no longer see the cat ahead of me. I came to a small clearing in the middle, which stood an old house, which was obviously abandoned. The windows were all broken, the shutters flapped in the wind, and to make matters worse, there seemed to be a whispering sound coming from inside. By now, both the black cat and any light from the setting sun had both disappeared, and I was frightened as I had ever been. I was lost, alone, and in the dark without any cell phone service. My only choice was to overcome my fears and go into the house and see why the black cat had led me there. I climbed onto the front porch, and as the sound from inside grew louder, what have I gotten myself into? I wondered to myself, my heart pounding. I walked through the front door to discover the black cat and her 5 kittens. While they were initially very frightened of me, I was able to assure all of them, and we lived happily thereafter. So there you have it. A man comes across a black cat, and although not believing in the supernatural, believes the cat is talking to him. Treks through the woods to find kittens in an abandoned house and rescues
Well, the narrator didn't lie. Not superstitious at all.
them.
There is no element of fantasy or Halloween going on. But we get a nice journey. It gestures towards something, but then we are back into this very, very realistic mode. It felt like it wasn't really a Halloween story. It was an animal rescue story. It's too bad that couldn't have rendered with the nightmare fuel, because it would have been interesting to see the reversal of sort of setting all these expectations and then reversing them. I liked the idea that this story, as well as the previous story, was really interested, both narrators were in first person, and they were this one says, I was convinced it was trying to tell me something. It's that there's this idea that, and in the last story, it was the meow wow trying to tell the narrator something. So there's some sort of ambiguity about the intentions of the other creature that is basically that propels the plot of both of these stories about trying to make sense of it. That sets up the ending right there.
Yeah. I thought it was great work with the plot, as far as it was setting it up. You're going deeper, you're getting drawn deeper and deeper into these woods, following a cat that you don't think is supernatural, but at the same time, all of a sudden, you turn around, you're at an abandoned house, miles deep, no cell phone light, no the sun sets, and it's like building up that sort of eeriness and creepiness, and then sort of to give it a good turn on its head and turn it into just baby kittens. I thought it was a very good playful sort of way to keep it realistic, although inject some of that nightmare fuel as an author into the page. But I thought it was great that, even though this narrator doesn't believe in the supernatural, they still can't help themselves but think, hey, that cat's trying to talk, that cat's telling me something. I got it, and so talking to animals might be supernatural to some folks, but obviously this character has that power.
I don't think that house is going to sell if there's no cell phone service either.
Well, I don't know. As you saw in the Paranormal Forest, with real estate prices these days, who knows? Who knows what's selling where? Okay. I don't know.
On to the next segment. I got nothing.
Got that. All right. We'll be right back after this word from our sponsors.
Come to J-Rock Subaru. Now fade your it's on a great heat lapse. Feel like a lizard again. Sweat it out, let it pour. Burn the dance floor. Free lifetime membership. There are 100 classes. Come and dance, come and sweat. The skill you won't regret. Feel the beat in your bones. Stretch it out, lose control. Groovy moves, energy high. Dance with us, touch the sky. Free lifetime membership up to 100 classes. Come and dance, come and sweat. This deal you won't regret.
That's J-Rock's Zumba Room. If you want nightmare fuel all year round, just head down to your local J-Rock Zumba Room. All right, here we go. On to our, let's see, here's what we got now. We've got the, let's look at, oh, I got to click the button. Clicking the button here for the winner, and it is Red 19. Wow. Red 19. Happy day for Red 19 out there with the wait a minute. No, it was Meat French. Meat French. Wait a minute. That's unbelievable.
Wow.
Who would have seen that coming?
I guess everything old cannot be new again.
Wow. Except for just who knows. All right, so congrats to Meat French there. We will see what that means after the prompt for tomorrow, which is Halloween week. A new Halloween pop-up shop offers to buy childhood memories for cash. Their most requested item: the exact moment you stopped believing in monsters. Their customers, the monsters themselves. All right, so help untangle this prompt for the folks out there.
This one might be too advanced. I'm worried about this one. So it seems to me, if we dig in, so it's instead of a pop-up shop, this is the discounted rack at the Dress Barn, where everyone goes for their Halloween costumes. But instead of buying these old costumes, the customers are, instead of wanting costumes, they want the moment that people stopped believing in monsters. And who are these people? It's the monsters themselves.
Okay, so you're telling me this is a shop where the monsters are preying on the
childhood memories
of you. Okay, sure. Why not? It's Halloween week, folks. Anything could happen. Let your mind run wild. Let's see how that plays with our authors. Where would you go out of the three core elements of our triangle of doom? What do you think this one has either the most room to run, or which needs the most definition in order for a successful story?
I think those characters, who are these monsters? Why do they want childhood memories? They need to assert their own terrifyingness. Okay. I think they're doing some research into how to be scarier. Because if the kids are not believing in them, maybe.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows what will happen? Not me, not you. Only way to find out is to tune in tomorrow. Let's check a quick look at the leaderboard right now from the week. And look at this. We've got a 3-way tie in first. Red 19, Slice, and Meat French all have 20 points. Repeat and Mr. Whiskers have 15. So unbelievable stuff there. We'll see how that plays out. Tomorrow is also going to be our last day of the week, believe it or not.
Wow. So, we're ending
ending strong. We'll see how that goes. So now we got to do the top 5, and then we're out of here. So pulling up the Franken story. This isn't a Franken story. This is just the top 5, actually. Want to clear any misconceptions out there.
Our dozen of viewers are gonna.
They're gonna. Yeah, I deal with too much fan mail already. Yeah. All right, so top 5 of the day. Number 5. Oh, Lid the Kid. I know. All right. Knocking my script, the teleprompter. All right, top 5 of the day. Here we go. After at least a mile of tracking the cat through the woods, it began to turn dark, and I realized I had no idea where I was. Just then, I could no longer see the cat ahead of me. I came to a small clearing in the middle, which stood an old house, which was obviously abandoned. Number 4. From Meet French. The show ended an hour later, in part to pay respect to the production company, in part to avoid seeing anyone I knew on the way out. I stayed to the very bitter end. When the janitors came in on stage and began sweeping up, I took my cue to leave and exited quickly without any lines or need to small talk. Number 3 from Red 19. On Halloween night, with a wind slamming the loose shutters on the house and skeletons danced in the windows, witches flying across moonlit, black cats prowling around the yard, jack-o'-lanterns lining the porch with ominous smiles, lighting up the entrance, souls and ghosts floating through the trees. Number 2 from Meet French. Cheyenne, a B-list actress in the Wyoming theater scene, carried on with the play, but my mind didn't. The way which Cheyenne had locked eyes with me and added a seemingly extra wow at the end of her meow had my mind racing. The black cat winked at me and said, meh, when crossing the path in front of me while I was out on my afternoon walk. Of course, I know cats can't talk, but this one had a distinctly winked at me, and I was convinced it was trying to tell me something.
Wow. Storyflix kind of nailed that. That was incredible.
Awesome. Good to hear that. Good to hear that. Love it when a good plan comes into effect. That was your live stream of the day. Join us tomorrow for Halloween week continuing. We're going to see how monsters capitalize on your nightmares. So until then, keep those pencils sharp.
And kids, don't let your creativity get captured.
Turn on the street tonight. Short stories in the spotlight. Writers bring their best to light. The Story Central time. Breaking down the plot. Characters at fault. Twist and hit the spot. It's all you live tonight. Are you ready for some stories? In a live stream glory. It's the contest of the year. Writers have no fear. Catch the suspense unfold. Feel the tales being told. Critiques fair and bold. The truth will soon be known. Jawless from far and wide. Mysteries you can't hide. Every twist takes the story right. By these rules we abide. Are you ready for some story?